I was recently asked, when are you going to retire? I said, I don't want to retire. I really do believe in what I do. So here's what I know so far. There is more and more research showing, and it's one of my favorite new hacks, if you will, this whole idea of perspective taking it has such a huge impact on people. So I can tell you I have a great idea. I can ask you, here's a person I just hired. Do you think I used any bias in hiring this person? What do you think? 9 times out of 10, when we ask somebody that question, we tend to ask someone that's kind of like us. And guess what their answer probably is? It's probably reaffirming to whatever I came up with originally, because you're like me and you think like me. But it's not until we really broaden that and start talking to people and having relationships across diversity, if you will, difference, that we really do get to see the world from a different way. I love the quote, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I believe that, and I think perspective taking allows for that. I'll give you a couple examples of what I mean. Just this week, I was with a client, and there was a woman who spoke with a heavy Spanish accent. I could hear her and understand her fine. She shared with me her badge at work. She said, "Do you see my name badge?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "Tell me, why are you showing me that?" And she said, "Well, my last name," her first name was Sarah. She said, "My last name, I don't remember exactly. It was something like Rivera Montañez or something." And she said, "That was my maiden name." She said, "But this is my married name. I'm divorced, but I'm keeping that because I know if I went with my maiden name, I'd never get a job." I said, "Why do you think that?" She said, "Because if you put that on a resume, nobody's going to ask me to come in." She said, "I've had it happen to me." So that reinforces that whole resume bias thing, right? She also talked about her own accent and how she uses that to withhold her own information at work. She won't give her ideas. She sits back in meetings. She doesn't really contribute verbally. She said she'll email things and different ideas, but she doesn't really contribute. And she said, I just sit back and I ask her, even in the room, I said, "Would you mind sharing this with your colleagues?" She said, No, definitely not. And unless you're walking in those shoes, it's kind of hard to, I could hypothesize what it might be like for someone in those positions.